I'd like to call this meeting of the Westland City Council to order, please. Tonight we'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Audra Dixon and Avery Kukulka, the two students from Schweitzer Elementary. Stay right there, Councilman Park will be right down the top.
You guys did a great job. I only had a couple minutes to train them, and they said, we got it, don't worry. Why don't you turn around so everybody can see you? There you go. All right, so who's Audra again? That's you. Very good. And Avery, raise your hand. We have Audra and Avery here today from Schweitzer Elementary. So we'll talk about Audra real quick. Audra Dixon is 7 years old and lives in Wayne with her mom, Andy, and her little brother, Adler. Is that right? Good. Okay. Audra likes to make slime and play on her Kindle. What's making slime?
Making slime is when you mix glue and stuff together and you get slime, and you can put food coloring and glitter in it if you want.
So my mom used to call that making a mess, but slime. Sounds like fun. She loves playing with LOL dolls and her LOL dolls, excuse me, and her friend Hazel. She really, really wants to be a cheer coach when she grows up and does competitive cheerleading. Who do you do competitive cheerleading for? Are you on a team?
Yeah.
Which one?
Champion Force.
There you go. She loves her school, Schweitzer Elementary, because all of her teachers since kindergarten are the best teachers. Good plan. All right, Audra, well, I got something here for you. Hold on. Make sure you got the right one. Why don't you go ahead and hold that, just like that. Why don't you change places with Avery for me? There we go. Hi, Avery. How you doing? All right, so this is Avery Kukulka. Did I say that right? Good. Avery is 8 years old and lives in Westland with her mom, grandma, and grandpa. Avery likes to make slime too, so you make a mess too, huh?
Pretty big of one.
Pretty big one? Okay. And play with her guinea pig, Coco. You have a guinea pig, just one? Coco? How long have you? Used to have two? All right.
For my 8th birthday.
Well, awesome. Well, I want to ask you why you only have one now. So, Avery loves going to her friend's house because they have two puppies, and she plans on being a veterinarian someday. Well, I have a new puppy, too, and she's got a lot of energy. So if you want, you can come by and play with her a little bit. Sound like fun? Yeah. All right, good. Her name's Maisie. We call her Crazy Maisie. Well, we won't say that again, then, will we? Her favorite place to go out to eat at Westland is Aubrey's and Anna's house. Great choices. Have you had the big cinnamon roll yet from Anna's house? There you go. Avery loves her school, Schweitzer Elementary, because her mom works there too. So here's your certificate right there. And these are our two outstanding citizens from Schweitzer. Thank you for leading us in the pledge. Why don't you give them a round of applause? Now I can drone on, but let's bring moms up and the principal up. Yeah, you got to tell me if you really like this slime that they make. Is that fun? No? Okay. Why don't you tell us something else about the kids?
Avery really loves to do gymnastics. She's been playing the piano for 2 years now, which she's getting really great at. And she's such a leader at our school. She's always so kind to everybody that she meets, and she's always willing to lend a helping hand.
Audra, I'm very proud of her. She's a very brave girl. She loves getting up in front of crowds. Yeah. And she's very popular at school.
And I'm Kristen Brickey. I'm their principal at Schweitzer. Avery's in 3rd grade, Audra's in 2nd grade, and I have known both of these lovely young ladies since kindergarten, since they were in kindergarten, not when I was in kindergarten. And just like both of their moms said, both of these girls make good choices, good proactive choices every single day at Schweitzer, and they are awesome community members at Schweitzer, but also young community members in Westland and Wayne too. So I'm proud of both of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much again. It sounds like these ladies are fantastic young citizens in and out of the classroom, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have them here with us today. One more time, folks.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Green. Councilman Hart. Councilman Hammonds. Councilman Hersberg. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Londo. President Godbout.
Present.
A quorum is present.
Begin with announcements and presentations. Mayor?
I'll step down front, and if I could get Council President to join me, Councilman Jim Hart, and also Hassan Saab. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So tonight we're going to take a few minutes out to recognize some Westland residents that really went over and above this year with their decorating of their residences for the holidays. And joining me is Councilman Hart, Council President Godbout, and then Mr. Saab, who heads up the city's Neighborhood Services Department. And one of the charges that Mr. Saad had when he took the ordinance department and turned it into the neighborhood services department was that it was going to be kind of a kindler, gentler department, and they were also going to, encourage people to improve their properties, and we also want to recognize them during the holiday season. So we brought back the holiday decorating contest this year, and it's the first time we've done it in a while, so we knew that this was going to be a tough year to get it off the ground. But with that said, there were 33 submissions. There were over 300 votes cast. The contest began November 30th and it ended Christmas Eve. There were two ways to nominate. You could either go on the city's website and nominate yourself or a resident or just a house that caught your attention. And the Neighborhood Service Department was nominating people that they saw throughout the day on their daily work. There were three categories. They were most over the top, best traditional display, and most creative. And then we had a fourth category, which the Department of Neighborhood Services also picked a winner for the first annual Neighborhood Services Choice Award. So tonight we're going to recognize these folks. We called everybody on Friday. A lot of them said they're going to be here tonight, so hopefully at least a couple of them could join us. I'm going to start off by recognizing the winners for the most over the top. And as we read off your names, if you're here, please step to the front and join us. And then Council President Godbout will announce the best traditional display winners, followed by Councilman Hart to give out the most creative awards, and then Hassan's going to give out the Neighborhood Service Choice Awards. And then we have a short video that we're going to put on the screen so you can see all their houses that we talked about. So with that said, winners for most over the top, our third place finisher was Shannon Saubers and Tim Collins. Are they with us? All right. All right, Shannon, step up here to the front. You can just join us here and we'll give you your second place is going to be Ricky Pate. And first place is Carol McCarthy. All right, President Godbout.
On the best traditional display winners, I guess the vote was extremely tight on all of these. So honorable mention goes to Melinda Smith, who was, I don't believe was going to be able to join us this evening. Third place was a tie with Kurt Katzis. Carol McCarthy. He's not here. Second place goes to Joe Bowles. Congratulations. And first place in the Best Traditional Display winner is Ricky Pate. And he's not here this evening.
All right, so that means it's my turn. So right now we have the most creative display winners. In third place, he's not here, Ricky Pate. Second place, Joe Bowles. So come on over here and get your second awards. There you are. And in first place, Joshua Fife. Is Joshua here? There we are. All right, so we got these awards. Oh, Hassan, I apologize.
Thank you. I too would like to thank each one who participated in this contest. Really, literally, you made the neighborhood shines, and the efforts was well worth it. The Neighborhood Service Award was given first place to Albert Hepfinger. He's not with us tonight.
There he is.
Thank you.
All right, did you have something else to add, Jim? Okay, all right. With that said, let's roll the video and take a look at the houses and give all these winners a round of applause. Thank you all. Thank you.
Move on to, next would be Lisa.
Good evening and Happy New Year to everybody. It's great to start this off on a positive note. We have some great news for you tonight. I know I sent you an email, but I also wanted to just make the announcement so the public knew as well. I'm going to first introduce you. Some of you know him, some of you do not. This is my colleague, Fred Paffhausen, and Fred actually helped out with these grants. Fred actually wrote these grants. I can't take the credit for these. And I wanted Fred to join me this evening. He's done a really good job with police and fire. He's a very technical writer, and we have a fine balance between the two of us. And so we're pleased to announce these two grants to you tonight. I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to Fred, if I may.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. These are both from the Michigan State Police on a burn justice assistance grant. The first is $46,700 to the Jefferson Barnes Community Vitality Center Learning Lab to continue operations of the lab and make improvements. We're proud to say this is the 4th consecutive year that we have gotten this award. In total, it's $196,920, and I want to thank Director Joanne Campbell, Chief Jadruzik, Director Paul Motz, and Director Craig Brown for their help in both this year's application and in past year's applications. We also were awarded $108,964 to purchase 4 radar speed trailers, 8 LiDAR kits, 12 radar units, and 14 speed radar signs for the Westland Police Department to be deployed to improve safety in school zones. And I want to thank Chief Jadruzik and Sergeant Robert Fruit from the Traffic Bureau for all of their help on those 2 awards. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Coleman?
Thank you, City Council. I just want to take this quick opportunity to reintroduce myself. I'll be serving as your state representative for the 16th Michigan House District. That's Westland and Wayne. I'm very pleased, very honored to be serving you up in Lansing. Want to give you my contact information and just make a couple quick announcements. Our Lansing phone number is 517-373-2576. Our email address is kevincoleman@house.mi.gov. I do have a couple of quick events to share with you as well. We're going to be having a swearing-in ceremony right here at Westland City Hall this coming Saturday. It's going to be January 12th at noon. So I hope you all can join us here. Our Judge Cicerelli is going to be giving me the oath of office here, so I'm very excited about that. Our first coffee hour of the year is going to be with Commissioner Anderson from Wayne County. That's going to be Monday, actually a week from today, January 14th at 9 a.m. at Big Boys, 6360 North Wayne Road. And these are, what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing these every second Monday of the month, going throughout the year. Also, I'm going to be doing a Wayne coffee hour. And if, in case any Westland residents missed the Westland one, feel free to come down to Wayne. Although that one's not going to be until next month. That's going to be February 22nd. That's a Thursday, I believe, at 10 a.m. At Tim Hortons at 34441 Michigan Avenue. Again, just honored to serve you. I want to thank the residents and the community for electing me last year. It's a real honor to continue to serve the city and our state. So look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
We'll move on to, Bob, did you? I'm sorry.
How soon we forget. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to come today because when you guys recognized me last month, I cried like a little baby, and I really didn't say my thanks that I wanted to. Actually, that and another issue. But I do want to thank the residents of Westland and Wayne. It was the most incredible ride I've had, you know, working with the city of Westland, working with city council. You guys are all really awesome. I was able to contact you. You guys are so into all the issues that I worked on. A special thanks to Mayor Wlnd. Mayor Wlnd probably had me on the phone probably every week talking to me about some issue that was coming on and how it would hurt the city. So I really want to thank everybody for allowing me to be, you know, your state rep. The other thing is I want to just put a little brag out. You know, I was able to bring back $800,000 to the district for Parks and Rec. And during lame duck, I was able to secure another $150,000 for Stalmeyer Park. I know you received the emails on it, but I'm really proud of that. I talked with Mayor Wlnd about where it needs to go, and we recognize that Stalmeyer Park would be the best place for it. So that should be starting probably this year sometime. So once again, thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Bob. Now we'll move on to citizens' questions or input on the agenda. Citizens will be recognized before the business of the meeting commences to address the council pertaining to items that are specifically on the business agenda. Citizens are asked to limit their questions or input to 3 minutes. Is there anyone on my left? Yes.
Hi, how are you guys doing? I would like to address a question to the chair, to the budget director, Dan.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, as you know, there are, things that go within our community, and I have a question. Some of the commissions receive $50 per meeting, and when people go to meetings, they do things and they give things to our community. So as the Disability Concern Board has really not done much that has been seen outside of the community. They've been receiving a $50 stipend for a whole year. And I would like to ask the budget director, would it make more to explain the money that went to it? Because I do believe that I worked very hard to put a dance on for the disability community, and I actually had to raise money, and to see $50 be given to 7 people that really doesn't do much to something, and to a
Blake, this isn't on the agenda.
No, it's a budget question. So the budget question is
It's not on the agenda.
the budget.
No, this portion of it is on items that are on the agenda.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
Anyone on my right? Yes.
Good evening to the council and to the mayor. Just on item B, I see that we have the new contract for the newspaper. Looks like it's being renewed with Associated Newspapers, the Westland Eagle. Just curious as to the bidding process, was it also bid out with Gannett and the Observer? I know there have been some cutbacks here recently at Gannett, and a lot of their staff has been let go. Did they participate in the bidding process, and if so, what was their bid in comparison to what Associated Newspapers and the Eagle bid out, and were there any other parties that were involved in the bidding process for the city newspaper circulation? Thank you.
Anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Anyone else in the audience? We'll move on to the consent calendar. Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Londo. Is there support? Support by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Hersberg.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to move item B off the consent calendar to new business, item 1A.
Maker and supporter. We'll make item B number 1A. Are there any other questions from the council? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing no dissent, motion carries unanimously.
Council has approved the following consent calendar items. Minutes of the regular meeting held December 17, 2018. Introduction of second quarter budget amendments for fiscal year ending June 30, 2019. Approval of grant number 2019-82 to provide funding to assist the city of Westland with the compliance plan and cost analysis approved by the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission for the provision of indigent criminal defense services through the standards approved by the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs on May 22, 2017, and the process described in the Michigan Indigent Defense Act as amended, effective December 23, 2018, by Public Act 214 of 2018. The city's share is $61,602. Adoption of Ordinance 248A90, an ordinance to amend Ordinance 248 to show CB3 district classification, where CB1 is now shown in the area situated in the city of Westland, commonly known as the southwest corner of Ford Road and Hicks Road, Planning Department number 2223. This item was introduced December 17, 2018. The last item on the consent calendar, adoption of prepared resolution for City of Westland poverty exemption for 2019. Moving to new business, item 1A, approval of bid for official city newspaper. Administration recommends the low bidder, the Associated Newspaper of Michigan, amount $3.95 per column inch.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Londo. Is there support? Support by Councilman Hart. Councilman Johnson?
Thank you. This isn't something that actually has to be dealt with tonight. We can deal with this 2 weeks from now. I personally don't think either paper's worthy of getting this. One got heavily involved in politics here a year or two ago, and they just went too deep with it. The other is in constant violation of our recently passed ordinance, throwing newspapers in front yards. I would like to give the council an opportunity to sit down and to have some discussion on this. And we have to nail down some things. There may be other options. I talked to the city attorney about if it was a possibility that we go to online only. He said we would only have to change the charter. Other cities have done this. So I would like to move that this be postponed till the next meeting.
I support the motion. Postpone.
There's a motion and support to postpone the item. Is there discussion on the motion to postpone? Councilwoman Green?
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to state for the record that I am in full support of the motion that Councilman Johnson just made. The very salacious and discriminatory article that was a front-page article and plastered throughout our city from what has been alleged 20,000 residents last year twice during the election. In my opinion, that was it was unsubstantiated, and I would have an issue awarding a contract to an organization that would draft such discriminatory remarks based on an opinion of someone that was not confirmed. And also, I agree in terms of the ordinance violation. Prior to today's meeting, I actually called several other cities and talked to elected officials in their cities and was able to confirm that there is no state law that requires us as a body to award contracts to newspaper companies. Now, I'm not in favor of driving newspaper companies out of business, but in this day and age with technology, most people actually do read the news online or they watch television. And we could actually look at saving the city some money. Now, it is not going to be, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but every little bit counts, especially when we're making cuts to other departments or proposing cuts to departments such as public safety. I think we need to look at whether or not we need to continue in this direction. And it does only take 4 council people to approve a motion to put it on the ballot and let the residents decide if they would like to have us as a council continue to invest city tax-paying dollars for newspaper contracts. So I would hope that during the discussion that there is a consideration to let the voters decide, since we are not legally obligated to continue to move forward, which would result in, like Councilman Johnson said, a effective charter change. Thank you.
Councilman Hart, let me remind all my colleagues, this is on the motion to postpone.
Withdraw.
Thanks. Is there any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? Just in comment, it is in our charter that it does have to be voted on by the second meeting in January. So at this point in time, just not awarding a contract is not an option. So at the next meeting, assuming that the motion to postpone prevails, that we will have to take that up again at the next meeting. A roll call, please.
On the motion to postpone to the next meeting, Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
Councilman Hammonds.
Yes.
Councilman Hart.
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Londo.
Yes.
President Godbout.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving to new business item 1, confirmation of appointment of Joni Thrower Davis to the Downtown Development Authority for a 4-year term, with the term to expire January 7, 2023.
Motion by Councilman Landau, supported by Councilman Hart. Is there any discussion? Mayor?
Thank you, City Council. Tonight, we ask you to appoint Ms. Joni Thrower Davis to the Downtown Development Authority to fill a 4-year term, which will expire January 7th, 2023. Ms. Thrower Davis is in the audience here tonight. You may remember her. We recently celebrated a newly renovated, we did a re-grand opening of a newly renovated McDonald's at 33921 Ford Road. Ms. Thrower Davis is the General Counsel and Managing Partner for Jam Jamar, Inc. She has a Bachelor's of Sociology from University of Michigan. She's received a Juris Doctor from Emory University and is currently working on her Master's. She was also recently a recipient of Crane's Magazine's 40 Under 40 Award in 2018, and we think that with her business acumen and her background, that she'll be a great addition to the Downtown Development Authority.
Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing no dissent, motion carries unanimously. Ms. Davis, if you'd like to stand and be recognized.
New business item 2, approval of voucher.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Hart. Is there support? Oh, that was Councilman Hammonds. Motion by Councilman Hammonds. Is there support?
I'll give him some backup support.
Support by Councilman Hart. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing no dissent, motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to citizens' comments or requests. Citizens will be recognized at the end of the meeting immediately following the agenda item approval of vouchers. Citizens are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. All citizens wishing to speak will be heard. Is there anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Anyone in the... Blake?
I apologize, I got about Westland the first minute I said. On the agenda item, Chair to the Budget Director, a few months ago, we did a fundraiser to raise a dance awareness for people in the community with disabilities, and we raised money, and Norway Citizens Council helped support it. Looking back at budgeting matters, the Disability Concern Board, as well as other commissions, received a $50 stipend. And being an advocate under the Disability Concern Board for multiple reasons, I think that the money that is being given to individuals, 7 people that sit at a rights board that don't show anything that's done in the community, and they're receiving financial dollars, if that's the correct term to say that, and that's tax dollars, and I think that we look at a fundraising dance that was developed for the disability community that gave impact, that gave information news about our community, but yet we're paying a concern board $50 per meeting. Their bylaws are not updated. There are guidelines that are not updated, and it's just really disrespectful to me and everybody else in the disability community, not only in the city, but as in the state as well. So I would just like to ask a financial question, I guess, to City Council, the Budget Director. Does that make sense? Is that a valid point?
Mr. Smith, you want to, or Dan, either one of you want to?
Actually, Council President, I take it. Blake, I'll get with you and talk to you about it, but at this point, I'll also have Stephanie Fields, who's our liaison to the Disabilities Concern Committee, reach out to you too, to answer your questions for you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Anyone else in the audience? Ray?
Anyway, I want to wish everyone happy New Year. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Hines Park. I know there's a meeting going on the 9th of January, and I plan on being there, and hopefully other people who can be there is important, because I guess certain parts of Hines Park, Livonia, Dearborn, I guess they're going to try to sell that. No, because that was a flood before, and where are people going to go? I think it's a really nice park. That park's been there for years. And I'm going to advocate for that, and I think it's important. I'm going to advocate for the Disability Concern Board, too. All our members have worked really hard during these years. I'm not going to let nobody think they can come up here and badmouth about this, because this is not. I mean, there's other commissioner boards, they get a stipend. I understand all this. But I wanted to thank Mike. Thank you for that letter, that you really made me feel good about people with abilities. I wanted to say 3 of us got renewed. Thank you, Bill. And I'm looking forward to keeping driving in it, and I'm going to do my best to continuously with our members, but we're not going to be bashed, because I'm going to talk to Stephanie about it, because everywhere we go, we should be treated with dignity and respect. We know people have a right to their opinions, but don't please come in here and start bad-mouthing about our group. Thank you.
Anyone on my left? Anyone on my right? Anyone else in the audience? We'll close citizens' comments and move on to comments from the administration. Mayor?
Well, thank you. And I'll start off tonight by saying to any of the residents that were awarded awards for their decorations that were not here tonight, we'll get those in the mail to you later this week. I'll just start off tonight by saying that it's nice right after the holiday to receive good news from our grant writing department. Over $150,000, which will be well used in both the police department and as well as to continue funding for the Jefferson Barnes Learning Lab. So thank you for your hard work on that. And then also to former State Representative Robert Kozlowski for his $150,000 allotment for Stoudemire Park, which will allow us to continue our efforts to modernize one of the city's largest neighborhood parks. With that, just a couple of things to add tonight is to the residents and the council. You saw the city council take action late in the year in reaction to the state of Michigan's Public Act 202, which required communities that did not meet the threshold for funding for their OPEB, which is their retirement health care accounts, and also their MERS pension plans, to file corrective action plans with the state. And you saw the administration work with the city council and compiled our plans. We did submit those to the state treasury, and we did receive word just before the holiday that both of our plans were accepted, which was good news, and it was a good step. Earlier tonight at our study session, the auditors had mentioned that they have not seen very many communities, and there were about 190 communities that were required to file these reports or these plans. There weren't very many communities that have received acceptance to this point, and most communities were sent back to the drawing board. So with that said, I think that that's a good step. Now this city has 180 days to start implementing the plans, and that's something that we are making a priority and working with the city council to do. To the residents, both of these corrective action plans are available on the city's website. And if you have any questions, you can certainly contact my office or the finance department, and we'll be talking more about this in the future. Then just a couple of things just to finish off. For those folks that have real Christmas trees, we prefer you not to put those out to the curb. We prefer you to bring those down to the recycling drop-off center at the DPS building at 37137 Marquette during regular operating hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be taking those through January 18th. We'll be recycling those. They actually get ground up and we use them in the city's community gardens. So we'll certainly like to get as many of those as we can. All that we ask is that the trees are free of decorations. If you do not have the ability to get those down to the drop-off center, you can place those out to the curb the same day of your trash pickup until Friday, January 11th. But after then, the trees will not be picked up at the curb, so please make sure you take care of that. I want to invite everybody to the City of Westland's annual Martin Luther King Day ceremony and be part of our annual Freedom Walk. This year, Andrew Humphrey, the meteorologist and reporter at WDIV Channel 4 Detroit, will deliver the keynote address here at City Hall on Monday, January 21st. Doors open here at 8:30. We'll have busing available for those weather permitting that want to participate in the annual Freedom Walk. We'll bus you over to the Westland Public Library and bring you back here. It's a short walk, and the walk is to honor all those who've marched with Dr. King over 50 years ago. Like I said, the doors open at 8:30. The walk begins at 9 o'clock, and the ceremony begins at 10 o'clock. There will also be light refreshments that'll be available here at City Hall, provided by the Westland Police Community Partnership Committee. Then the last thing I have is just to wish a happy birthday to Steve Smith. Congratulations, Steve. Okay. Thank you.
Anything from the City Attorney's Office?
Just briefly, Council President, we would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy 2019, and I recognize that the official newspaper was postponed. The City Charter, Section 6.13, addresses the official newspaper. I would just alert everyone that there are potential issues when you get into freedom of the press and freedom of speech, and the criteria that you can use is in the Charter section there, so that should be reviewed before making that decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Begin council comments with Councilwoman Green.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to start by thanking Audra and Avery for leading the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. I would also like to congratulate Joni Thrower for her appointment to our City Commission. Look forward to working with you and your contribution to the City of Westland. You already do so much as a business owner, so welcome aboard. Also would like to congratulate Lisa Norsarini and her team, or actually not congratulate, to thank you for the grant monies that you recouped for the city. I know you guys worked pretty hard on that, so thank you for continuing to get money for us. I would also like to thank our previous state representative who's now gone, Bob Kozowski. He did an excellent job for the city of Westland, and he set the bar really high for Kevin Coleman, our former council president, so I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin do some great things as well, and thanks so much, Bob, for the $150,000 grant for Stoudemire Park. The residents in that area are very grateful and appreciative. That is an area of town that is somewhat thought to be neglected in terms of the park investment. So thank you so much for recouping that money on your way out. And also, I would like to wish Bob Kozowski an early birthday. His birthday is actually tomorrow. So happy birthday, Bob, and happy birthday, Steve. Thank you.
Councilman Hammonds.
Thank you, Council President. I too want to congratulate Ms. Davis on your appointment to the DDA. Good luck. If you ever need anything, we're always here for us. Feel free to reach out. I also wanted to thank former Representative Robert Kozowski again for his service and for getting us that grant on the way out. It was greatly appreciated. I also want to wish Mr. Smith a happy birthday, and also I want to wish everyone a happy and prosperous New Year. That's it for me. Thank you.
Councilman Hart.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to lead off by again getting in line with everyone else and congratulating Ms. Thrower Davis on your appointment to the DDA. I did spend some time going over your qualifications and I was very impressed. It looks like your education and your entrepreneurial spirit is only matched by your civic involvement. All of these things that you bring to the table are greatly needed, appreciated, and admired in our DDA, and I look forward to having your wealth of experience and body of experience on that team. So I'm sure all of my colleagues would agree. If there's anything we can do for you, please reach out to any of us. Any of us would be happy to help you, and conversely, we might reach out to you for something at some point. So secondly, in my desire to always be positive, I was contacted by a resident last week. I won't name her because I don't think she wants to be named, but she was very excited to share with me a little personal tidbit. She had some family come visit the Westland community from pretty far away. Some of you might have heard of Australia. She had family from Australia. They came here to Michigan to visit family and to see snow for the first time and see what an American Christmas was all about. I need not tell you we did not have any snow here at the time. But this resident being sharp and knowing that we have so many things here to offer in our city, she took her Australian family to Mike Modano Ice Arena, where you keep some snow in supply at all times behind the ice arena. But while she sent me a picture too, so there's a picture of her family standing on the snow here from Australia, here in our Mike Modano snow pile. So I'll leave this out so you guys can see it, and doesn't have her name on it, but it's really fun. But one thing she said to me was very important, is that I'm so very proud of my community. Every step that she went to, every store that she went to, everything she took her family to go see here in Westland, her family commented about how warm, welcoming, and beautiful our city is. And I think it's very incumbent upon us to, not just the 7 of us that sit up here, including the mayor and everyone else, to be a positive role model and an ambassador for our city, but it's up to all 85,000 of us. So I think all 85,000 of us doing a good job in treating our guests well, no matter where they're from, no matter what they're doing, and think positive things about our city is how we really move forward. So I'd like to wish our Australian guests a warm welcome back to Australia, and eventually when they come back here, please look us up. We'll see if we have snow next time. With that, I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Councilman Johnson.
Thank you. I too, Ms. Davis, would like to congratulate you on your appointment. Thank you for serving. Anything that I can do, any questions I have, feel free to get a hold of me. Again, I appreciate it. Lisa, that's the kind of reports I was talking about last meeting. If you can come when those get there or every quarter, that'll dispel a lot that's out there. I know what you do, and everybody else know what you do for the city. So that's the kind of things that will clear a lot of it up. We talked about newspapers. Last 2 weekends, I could hardly believe my eyes. I got up on Sunday morning and Thursday morning, no newspapers laying in driveways in my area. And I talked to Peter and Tasha. They had the same results in their areas. Started driving around the city. That's the only 3 areas that didn't get bombarded with newspapers. I talked to Adam, and he said they're thrown all over his area. I also talked to some people who deliver them. They said they know nothing about any 10,000 signatures with addresses. They're just given areas and told to throw them out the windows until they're out. I officially asked the city attorney tonight, I want a copy of those 10,000 signatures with addresses, corresponding addresses, and I'm willing to bet 10 to 1 they lied, they don't have any addresses. And I guess I got a little problem with the meeting, and not with the 2 gentlemen here that talked to them, but when the city attorney got involved, every council member here, that changed the life of that meeting. Every council person up here, and even residents, should have been privy to that meeting. I just think that 3 of us have a right to talk to any vendor, we have a right to do anything, but when the legal department got involved in that changed the whole life of that meeting. I think all of us had a right to be there. If we chose not to, that's on us. And I think residents had a right. I actually left last week's, or 2 weeks ago's meetings with more questions than I had answered. When I questioned about, did you see the 10,000 signatures, the only response I got was, I don't want 10,000 signatures. I do. And again, I would like to have those. And to go a little further on the city newspapers, I would like to talk to a couple of you at a time. I'm sure it's not going to be the Eagle for a lot of obvious reasons, but if it's the other newspaper, I would like to discuss something I'd like to do with that contract, and I won't bring it up now. I'll talk individually or with a couple at a time. I just believe we're being hoodwinked by that newspaper, and again, not condemning either one of you for your meeting. I just think when the city attorney got involved, that changed the whole complexion. We should have all been there. Thank you.
Councilman Wlnd.
Thanks, President Gabel. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I'm going to start off tonight by also thanking Lisa Nasarina and Fred, you guys do a great job. Your entire team does a great job, and we appreciate you bringing forward good news to us. And thanks to Bob again as well, Bob Kozowski, our former state rep, who didn't leave Lame Duck without any money, so that was great that he came back with a lot of money for us. And I also want to congratulate all the residents that won the holiday decorating contest. That was great. I thought that was great holiday spirit, and I want to give an honorable mention. Gary didn't know I was going to say this, but Gary Chappelle needs to show the mayor the video he showed me. He showed me about a 2 or 3 minute video of a, I don't know what you call that, a little village you have in your house. Incredible. Nothing to take away from those residents, but you got to see what he has. It's amazing. So thank you again. Also like to congratulate Joni Thrower Davis as well on your appointment to the DDA. Like everyone said, you're very talented, and you're going to join a really talented group of local business owners in our community, and I look forward to working with you. If there's anything I can do to help you out, please let me know as a former chairman of the DDA. And thank you for your reinvestment to the McDonald's. I was out there for the ribbon cutting. It looks fantastic, and every time I drive by, the cars, you might need a bigger parking lot. They're out on Ford Road, so. I also want to thank our finance team and Plant Moran for the audit presentation, for everyone that was involved in that, and the corrective action plan that was approved by the state that the mayor mentioned. You guys all do a great job, and I'm looking forward to seeing that plan into the future. Over the holiday break, I saw a post on social media about a 11-year-old boy who had his bicycle stolen that he purchased with his own money. Very sad situation, but once again, our community stepped up and had that boy a bike within a day. So thank you to the residents. I'm not sure who you are, but if you're listening, we appreciate you. There's pictures on social media of the kid with his new bike. That was incredible. So thank you for your compassion. And also like to announce our next coffee hour is going to be at Holiday Park Co-op on Saturday, January 19th at noon in the clubhouse. If you're not able to make it and you have something you'd like to address with us, feel free to reach out to me or any of us up here. My contact information once again is 734-223-0200. That's my personal cell phone number. Or you can email me directly at mlondo, Londeau, @cityofwestland.com. All of our information is on the city's website, so if you missed that, because I speak a little fast, just go on our city's website under elected officials and you can get our contact info. And I think that's it, Council President.
Councilman Hersberg.
Thank you. I'll start by congratulating Joni Davis on your appointment. Thanks for stepping up. We appreciate it. And, best of luck in your term. Steve Smith, happy birthday. Oh, he walked out. Excuse me. And then just back to the whole newspaper, the ordinance, and the vote tonight. Councilman Johnson asked for the 10,000 signatures. I'm also asking for those. They don't have them. At least I wouldn't believe that they do. So they're saying they have these and they're allowed to violate the ordinance. I'm not buying it. So we should see those names and addresses. And then to the city attorney. You cited the city charter, and if you go on the 4th line, it says we pick a newspaper, basically, which is qualified to publish legal notices under the laws of the state of Michigan. Do you know what those criteria are, or who decides what newspapers qualified, credible or not?
If I may, that section of the charter is there are certain legal notices that have to be published in a certain size font, a certain type of language. I believe that is a reference incorporating other state laws. So I don't believe this is saying for the notices for the city of Westland that it has to be a certain font or anything.
Do we know that the associated newspapers would meet those qualifications?
You'd have to know what the specific law is that required the publication, and then depending on what the state law said, what they published. But my understanding would be most newspapers, you would tell them what you wanted printed, and then they would print it in the appropriate font.
Okay, I appreciate the information. I'm going to look more into that. I'm concerned with some of the information in our packet regarding that. We don't really know who owns that newspaper versus the Observer. We know it's a company, they have a board, we can hold them accountable for things. This newspaper, we have no business address, no phone number. Issues in the past, people have called for a retraction and they just hung up the phone. So I'd like to see us at least go with another option. And also to the city attorney, there's been some talk about getting an initiative on the ballot to remove this language from the charter. So if we could get the ball rolling on that so we could make it for the August election, would be much appreciated. Thank you.
I'd like to begin tonight by thanking Audra and Avery, the two young ladies from Schweitzer Elementary, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I too would like to wish Steve Smith a happy birthday, but also Dan Stachow's birthday, who's in the audience. Happy birthday, Dan. I too would like to thank and congratulate Ms. Davis for her appointment and her willingness to serve on the DDA board. It's nice to have you on board, and we'll be glad to work with you on it. I too would like to congratulate all of the holiday decorating contest participants and winners. It's nice to see that we've reinstated that contest again, and it always got a lot of attention and competition from the neighborhood, so I'm sure now that word is out again that we're doing it, participation will pick up in the coming years. Thanks to Lisa and the No Sereni Strategy Group for their continued work on obtaining grants for the city. It's much appreciated. And then finally, I just want to wish everyone a safe, happy, and prosperous new year. With that, is there a motion to adjourn? I forgot.